we find that taking a look at daily habits that might be throwing you off track with your weight loss or your health goals would be super helpful. So we're going to get into 6 of them today. Let's get to it. Also, eating too much processed sugar. So I'm Jane, and I'm here with Stephanie, and we're the Nourishing Gurus. We help women over 50 stop yo-yo dieting in a healthy, sustainable way, heal their relationship with food, and feel good in their bodies again. So when we do initial client intakes, we like to take a look at a typical day. And after reviewing literally hundreds of these days, we found that so many women who are having a hard time losing weight are getting stuck with 6 mistakes that we're going to share today. So the interesting thing to notice is that we're focusing today not on food mistakes necessarily, but more habits. So keep that in mind when we're running through these. If any of them resonate with you, let us know. I'm going to take on the first 3, which all have a little bit of a similarity, but they're slight variations. Okay, let's dive into number 1, which is saving calories. This is a very common practice where a woman will have very little to eat in the early part of the day because she either is afraid of having more later or she's just kind of skimped during the day. Almost always will backfire because you end up getting way too hungry and then overeating. So the thing to remember, and this is so important, is that we burn more calories during the early part of the day. Our metabolisms are highest in daylight hours. So you want to actually take advantage of that time and take advantage of the metabolism when your body is burning the most. So don't skimp and don't save your calories because it will ultimately backfire later. This kind of dovetails into mistake number 2, which isn't so much as an intentional as mistake number 1, where you're intentionally saving calories, but where you just wait too long to eat. This could be actually for almost any meal, but when someone gets busy or distracted and then hours and hours go by and then all of a sudden the hunger hits them. And so again, the same thing happens where all of a sudden you realize that you're really hungry, and if you're not prepared, you're going to probably grab something that's maybe subpar nutritionally, or you're going to end up overeating because it's hard to fill up after when you're really, really hungry, then it's hard to kind of get full, so we keep eating. If you find that that's a pattern for you, it's a good idea to maybe set a timer for 4 hours after your last meal and just kind of alert you to kind of snap out of it and check your hunger level and see, okay, where am I at? So number 2 would be waiting too long to eat just because you tend to get busy or distracted. And again, that could kind of be the same as number 1, where you're just pushing those calories too late into the day and not taking advantage of more daylight hours or earlier hours. So mistake number 3 has to do with intermittent fasting. Now, there's nothing specifically wrong with intermittent fasting. It can be a wonderful way to burn body fat, to sort of keep eating hours within a certain window. We actually have a whole video on that, which we'll link to in the discussion below. But the more and more research that's being done is showing that the window for intermittent fasting should be earlier in the day. Again, this kind of relates to the 2 mistakes I was just talking about. So many women will do intermittent fasting, for instance, from like 12 to 8, where the benefits are being shown for more earlier intermittent fasting. So if you're going to do an 8-hour window, it's better to do something like 10 to 6, for instance. And then you have this long fast overnight, but then you're having your first meal around 10. So again, all this kind of reflects how important it is to get those calories in earlier in the day. So we hope that those 3 mistakes kind of drive that home.
All right. So the next mistake we see often is not having a good quality breakfast. So I remember years ago, I used to eat just a bowl of cereal with some skim milk, and I actually had a big glass of orange juice too. No wonder I was starving an hour later. But we realize, and I have changed so much over the years when it comes to breakfast, I eat probably a lot more calories in the morning, but also I make sure I get good quality protein, enough fat, and fiber and just enough food in general that it's going to hold me for like 3 or 4 hours. Sometimes I go and it's a while till I'm ready to eat lunch, and I find that my focus is really good and my energy is good, and I'm not worried about how many calories I'm having at breakfast, because I know I always check, all right, did I have my protein? Did I get a good fat? Am I getting my fiber in? I always try to get some vegetables in for breakfast. But when I do that, I feel that that just really sets the tone for the day, and it gives me enough energy, and I feel that I don't need to have a snack an hour or two later. So think about your breakfast and maybe want to change it up a little bit. We have so many breakfast ideas on our website, so you might want to check that out. All right, let's move on to, we talked about breakfast. I want to talk about dinner, and this is another huge thing that we see women do, is not really deciding on what to have or even thinking about what to have for dinner until it's time to have dinner, or maybe a very short time before. And that doesn't give you a lot of time to put together something healthy at the late time of the day, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, and you haven't eaten dinner. Chances are you might be hangry, right? And you've also have used up your decision-making abilities for the day. We call it decision fatigue, when you've made so many decisions throughout the day that you tend to make not such good decisions at that time. So you always want to be thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, at least in the morning. Maybe you take something out of the freezer, or make sure you stop, if you work outside the home, you stop on your way home and pick up ingredients, so you make sure you have that on hand. Another thing is, we're huge on making sure you have some good, quick, easy recipes and the ingredients on hand so that you can throw something together for dinner quickly when you don't have time. Start thinking about dinner maybe the night before, or if you like to plan for the week, that's a great option, or at least in the morning, not waiting till it's dinner time to start thinking about what you're going to have. All right. And finally, the last mistake is sort of a mindset. Well, it is a mindset thought, and that is thinking, if you eat something that maybe was off plan, like, oh, I messed up and this day is a wash, forget it, I'm just going to eat whatever, I already messed up anyway. Well, that's just not true. Say you had a cookie at a work party or something. Okay, so you had the cookie, but that doesn't mean you can have whatever junk you want to eat for dinner and that you snack all night. It just, you can stop it and just limit the damage. If you had it, and you move on and you go back to your healthy eating. And that's really what it's all about, is how quickly you move back in and get back to that healthy eating plan. And you are not off plan, you didn't mess it up, you just had something, and that's it. We really work with more women a lot in our Simply Nourished program on that. All right, so we want to know in the comments below, do you identify with any of these mistakes, and are you going to try to turn them around? So this is really just the tip of a very big iceberg when it comes to losing weight in a sustainable way. Listen, there's so many diet programs out there, and there's not one that is perfect for everyone. Every woman we speak to has her own unique challenges and lifestyles, along with her own biochemistry. So if you've tried diets in the past that either haven't worked or you just weren't able to stay on them, it probably didn't take into account your unique challenges and lifestyle. So our Simply Nourished 90-day program helps you create a consistent, healthy eating plan that's tailored to you and helps you overcome these unique challenges. And if that's something you're interested in and something you're looking for, let us know. We'll put a link in the comments below so you could check it out. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please give us a like if you like this, and share this with anyone you know, and stay tuned because we got more good videos with great information coming up every Thursday.